Warning: the following video contains strong language, which may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only. Thank you for your attention. Good evening, everybody. This is your sexy Welsh voice. Well, your sexy voice. Did you enjoy last night's video? Or shall I say this morning's video? Did you enjoy the content of that said video? And some facts that things are falling apart? Yes. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, really, what could? Well, for them, nearly everything. But we'll talk about that in a bit. So anyway, spread the word. I am live, and tonight's going to be an interesting one. But just bear with me. Excuse me. Hi, Amago. Hi, Sienna, Nimrod, Trissa. Welcome. Please hold. Oh, excuse me. Please hold for a second. I'll be right back. I need to go and get some Dr. Pepper. Yes. Yes, got my coffee. Well, I've got my coffee. I got half a cup. Got my Dr. Pepper. Oh, yeah. Hi, Star. Welcome to the stream. Right, okay. So tonight, I don't think my pretty is going to be here with me tonight, so I'm going to be all alone. How sad. But what we're going to be doing is have a nice relaxed evening, and we're going to have a chat. Okay, so let's get into it. And obviously, we're going to talk about some couple of things before we go into the main thing for tonight, or the main contents of tonight's stream. Welcome, Debbie. Welcome. Just looking for the crap from the crazy town. Yeah. God, that's so true. Yes, a lot of things are unraveling for people, aren't they? Now, obviously, I'm not going to cover what Tug, Megan, or anyone else cover. Excuse me. However, what I will say, though, is what I say means that I've done research, and I'm not going to piss ball about. And yes, my chair is squeaky for some reason. And why is my phone not plugged in? Oh, there you go. But anyway, right. So first things first, video last night. I got asked, what was with the video last night? Well, one is basically sending a couple of shots across some people's mouths to keep my name out of their fucking mouth, because I'm not interested. Two, I'm not interested in anyone's bullshittery, and that's fact. Now, that video last night, I don't even know why I did it, but I did. I was listening to what they were saying, and I found it very strange that Womble Gob, she seemed like a completely different person last night. But the night before, she was... Yeah, I mean, obviously she spat a dummy out, or, she wanted a bit of ditty, but she didn't get it. But anyway, here's the thing. I'm a type of person, like, I don't hate people, but I will judge you on your actions. And there's a lot of people who I could fucking name right now who need to fucking take a step back and actually look at themselves in the mirror. But I'm not going to do that, because that's not the reason I am live tonight on my own, without my pretty, without Robin. Anyway, that's what I call her. I'm Batman, she's Robin, or Robin E. Anyway, the video last night, I was actually live in there, and when I heard the shit that was coming out of Bruce's, I had to fucking copy it. I had to fucking then edit it and then put it out, because what I heard there was the fact that he actually got the lawyer wrong. It wasn't MG Law, it's actually MLS. Who he was talking about. That was loud. AKA David Helm. Now, David Helm has a bit of a history to himself as well. In 2014, he got a slap on the wrist, naughty boy. And he likes to jump from one stream to the other, but we're not going to talk about him because he's not worthy of my attention. The video last night was to basically prove what I've been saying from the get-go, and I've been saying this since October, August last year. I've been saying this for a long time. And I have also been saying that a lot of people need to pay attention to their surroundings and do a little bit more research. Now, if people want to grift or they want to jump on a topic and they want to make themselves important, then fine. That is fine. You crack on and do that. No, I don't burp on command. It may happen after I drink some Dr. Pepper, Sienna, but anyway. How can I put it? See, you knocked me out of sync now, Sienna. Naughty girl. Anyway, but I've been saying this. I have caught Bruce out on multiple fuck ups. I mean, when you ask someone a question, do you or don't you know who's got access to something? You would turn around and say yes or no. But hey, but that's in the past. But everything I've been saying, it seems to repeat itself by other people. Other people are repeating what I said months ago. I find that quite strange. Do I think, am I big-headed about it? Am I going, ha ha ha, I called it? No, because at the end of the day, if I can find it so easily, why is it that people haven't found it until now? Or why haven't people noticed it until now? So that was that video. And I think there was enough information for you to understand exactly what was going on in that video. Other stuff. I have decided from now on to plan my stream content to make it more entertaining, make it more interactive. And as far as I'm concerned, when you guys are in here and you are part of the stream, then you are part of the interaction. Then, but you need to remember that when people come in and go, oh, did you hear about this? Oh, hear about that? No. And if I check stuff, I will check it. And if I don't think it's relevant, then I won't mention it. As simple as that. And that goes for anything. Because at the end of the day, the concentration needs to be kept on one major thing. And that's the federal court case between Jeremy Hales and Lynette Preston and John Cook. And everyone else who's now on the defense list. And quite a few people have been requested to bring forward evidence and to, send it in. But obviously, Bruce is playing a little girl with a slapped ass, high horse picker. And here's the thing. After what was said by Jeremy in his car in Pensacola, the way that judge behaved, and the dockets that I've seen tonight in regards of these two need to fucking fix it, sort it out, because I've got a funny feeling that Bruce is richly digging a second hole within another hole. He's an absolute clown. I've never had the displeasure of actually knowing someone so unfucking professional. And I've come across a lot of people who I would consider arseholes, but they were more professional than he ever was. And one of them was actually someone who worked for the UN. So And they, this guy was full of himself, but at least he was professional in his behavior and conduct. Whereas fucking Loyola left when I don't know really how to address this guy. I'm sick and tired of calling him nicknames because it's fun, it's satire. I enjoy calling him a dickhead, and I also enjoy him a nosekeel. But at the end of the day, he's a human being who has no clue what he's done. By the sounds of last night, deflated ego, definitely. They all sounded very deflated, didn't they? In the last few days, they've been deflated. Maybe it's because they've been receiving their own medicine. They've been dishing out. Now, the way I understand is this. You make your bed, you lay in it. And you fuckers are going to lay in your bed. Simple. Right. Next point. My general observation about this whole thing, irregardless of me falling out with people or not talking to people or people not talking to me or falling out with me or people having their opinion about me, I don't really care about that. That is irrelevant. That is irrelevant. I would rather spend my time picking at a spot than waste my time on people who have got nothing better to do than just, I don't know, make a scene. It doesn't matter. Like I said, the thing is, for me, it's quality over quantity. And there are people out there who have got an extreme dislike to me for who I am and for what I say. Now, here's one thing I would like to say to you. If you don't like what I say, you don't have to listen to me. If you don't like what I do, then don't give me reasons to do what I'm doing. For me to sit here and do my job, which I did, funny enough, today, and it took me 20 minutes to do a job that earned me £800. So if I can do a job in, I'll say about 40, 20, half an hour. Let's say 40. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be fair. It was about 45 minutes because I had to talk to the person as well, and I've earned £800 today. £800 is nearly $1,000, give or take. I don't know. Probably. Who cares? That's just in one day. That's far and few. I mean, I don't get stuff like that a lot, but And I was also given access to a very, very interesting system. And boy, was I able to do stuff with that. Look up financial records and shit like that. But that's by and by. Yeah, I did a check on myself, and it was absolutely hilarious. Anyway, my general observation about this whole thing is it's two-tiered. The first tier is behavior of people who involve themselves. They want to get clout. Yes, I get that. You want to talk about something that's, interesting. It's important. But the thing is, when you talk about something, you also need to take into consideration you are talking about people, human beings on both sides. May they be wrong or right. We are talking about human beings. So you need to take into that consideration as well. Now, we know that certain individuals like to play these little health cards, like the mental health card or autistic card or disabled card or whatever card they want to play. And we have to understand that when we look at that, we need to judge them by their actions. And over the few months, I've noticed one thing. The Womble Gobs and Crocodile Dundee and Jabba Hoot and Biscuit Boy, all these people, they've become worse and worse and worse because they don't have the ammunition, they don't have the content, or they don't have a base story. They repeat themselves, or they say something that they said a couple of days prior, and they say it differently. So that makes them not just out to be liars, but they're just making shit up. And then they try to sell whatever they want to sell. I mean, it's the wild, wild west, as they say. But the thing is, what you have to also understand is that there is a pattern in their behavior, and it goes back for a long time. This thing with Jeremy Hales, bless his cotton socks. There was a video put up about him today, about the confrontation with Guapo that was initiated by Guapo, aka Andrew. And it was, he is a coward. He is a spineless coward. Because I watched that. I watched that video multiple times. And I made a sentence. And I put a sentence in there. And I congratulated Jeremy for being who he is. And I do that. And I'm going to openly say this now. I congratulate you, Jeremy, for who you are. You are a man of your word. You have a spine. You have integrity. You're not innocent in some actions because you're a human being. So you're going to act and react to things. But you stood your ground, and that I admire. To someone who didn't have a spine and doesn't have any integrity. And I admire you for that. And if anyone thinks any differently about these videos with Grappo's confrontation and antagonizing Jeremy, if you seriously think for one moment that Jeremy could have walked away or Jeremy could have just ignored it, how can you ignore a short hobbit-looking motherfucker like Grappo in your face, deliberately poking you in the chest? There is not one person on this planet who would not respond in kind. But Jeremy had the decency to just stand there. Because I tell you one thing, looking at him, I mean, now that I've grown up, I can assure you, I am a fighter. Me personally, I have always been a fighter. When I was a kid, I was a fighter. When I was a teenager, I was a fighter. When I became a man, I was a fighter. I have always been a fighter. Every man in my family has fought hand to hand. We have boxed. We have done martial arts. We have gone street fighting. Everything. We are fighters in my family. And I can assure you, I can tell when someone is holding back. And I admire Jeremy Hales for keeping himself composed and keeping his actions to exactly what you see. He just stood in front of him. He wasn't scared. He wasn't afraid. But I tell you one thing, Guapo Sunshine, you are the luckiest fucking man on this planet. Let me tell you this right now. Right? Yeah, you can get a lucky shot in, but there's an old saying, and I always say this to people. Make sure I'm dead before I hit the ground if you take a swing at me, because if I'm not, when I get up, you're going to regret those life choices you made. Trust me. And that, people, you need to look at. It's not all what people say, sitting on a platform going, oh, I know better and all that shit. No, it's none of that. You look at what you see. A camera picks up everything, right? And a lot of people just see Guapo and they see Jeremy. Tell you what, next time you watch that video, instead of just watching them two, pause it. Look at the faces of the people around them. Look at the faces. Look at the expressions. That's what people fail to do. You just get tunnel vision and you'll just see one thing, but you don't see everything else around you. So I commend Jeremy. I'm not trying to fucking become a favorite. Have my name as a favorite on your fucking list. I don't care. But I, as a man, want to tell another man, I commend you for your composure and for you being a real man. And another observation. I've seen a lot of people, and I've heard a lot of people going around and flapping their gums and everything about me. Well, here's something you need to know. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. And you have to understand this. I'm never going to explain myself to people who are narcissists, who like to make other people look bad. And then the moment you turn around and go, fuck you, you're the bad guy. No, not going to happen. That's why I don't fucking bother discussing certain things. because it's irrelevant, and they are irrelevant. Now, my goal is to bring the truth and the facts, and that's what I've been doing so far. And we're going to be talking about that in a minute. But let's crack on, shall we? Let's go to our first little picture, shall we? Let's do some film reviews. Oh, yeah. All right, film reviews tonight. Well, what can we talk about? I don't know what it was, but for some reason, I watched Transformers the last night. Well, last of the nights, or whatever you want to call it. And with Anthony Hopkins and Mark Wahlberg in it. And it was absolutely fantastic. We all know about the Transformer films. Leia the Buff, whatever the Buff, that guy, he was an absolute prat. You know, I took a dislike to him in the movie that I saw him in. And I've never liked him. And when I saw him in Fury, I didn't even like him then. Yeah, but anyway, that's by and by. Transformers, very good film. Last night, also a very good film, because it does cover some history, and it does show you a little bit of London, Great Britain. It doesn't show you everything, but it shows you a bit. And I can tell you right now, you would not see a rack of bicycles outside a freaking college or school anywhere in London, England, anywhere. Because I can tell you one thing now, they'd have been nicked. They'd have been gone within seconds. But yeah, so that's definitely a film to like, especially if you got your youngsters, or you want to have a nice night in with a hubby or something like that, or with the wife, you know. That's definitely something to look into. It's, you know, and there's quite a few of Transformer films out there. And just so you know, there's also Transformer cartoons. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Greta. And everyone else who's joined. Eric, hi. I have seen you guys come in. So, SMN, hi. So yeah, so there's so you can actually watch. And there's a couple of TV series now, like Star Trek, Discovery, and everything else, that are quite good. I mean, if you're in Star Trek or Star Wars, then yeah, it's something to look into. But yeah, the Transformers, the last night, it shows you a little bit of history about Merlin, the Round Table, and it's a bit far fetched because it's actually King Arthur and the Knights of Camelot. But we're not going into that. That's a bit of history. What's the next one? So yeah, if you're into Transformers, go and check it out. I think it's on Netflix, Amazon, and other stuff. Now, if my pretty would have been here, she'd have been talking about Wicked and another film, but obviously she's not here. She's out having a great time with her family, so I gave her a day off, so I've released her for today, so she'll be fine. I love horror films. The best horror film that I ever saw, and I'll be honest with you, just to change this topic very quickly, the best horror film I ever saw besides Nosferatu was The Thing, the black and white version from the 70s, 60s, or 50s. I can't remember what year it was. That is... And then when it came out in the 80s, they modernized it. And then when it came out again, and they changed a bit, but by God, it was a bloody good film. A plant like xenomorph, metamorphoses itself into different creatures, and it can survive in the coldest of cold. But you put some electricity or fire through it, yeah. But the thing is, having a plant-based creature chasing you around and turning you into mincemeat, that's another one that I watched was called Chud, which I call people. That's why instead of calling people a shithead, I call them a chud. Chemical humanoid underground dweller. Shithead. Chud's a good horror film as well. The Executioner is a good one. That's from the 70s. there's a lot of horror films that I've seen. Oh God, there was one. What was it? Pinhead. What's the one with the little guy on a tricycle? What's it called? Saw. I mean, there's some horror films that I've seen. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. I thought it was shite. Never liked it. The Mummy movies, didn't like them. I thought they're just too far fetched. The Hand, yeah. But there are quite a lot of films out there. The Tales of the Unexpected used to be a British TV series in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Tales of the Unexpected. Now, yeah, some of them were very, Hellraiser. There you go. Some of them were quite scary. There's horrors. When I watched Aliens for the first time, I was eating spaghetti. And when that scene happened, when they were having dinner and that thing came out of its chest, I didn't eat spaghetti for years after that. Yeah, it was quite funny, actually. It's just like when Jaws came out. How many people stopped swimming in the sea when the Jaws came out? The Exorcist, that's okay. But anyway, we're digressing. So there's a lot of horror films. I mean, hi Mitch, by the way. Did I say hello still? Yeah, Amago, everybody, Lisa, hi. Hello everyone. How's that? That'll cover everyone, yeah. So I mean, I get it. I get it. Right, the next film I'm going to talk about, and I only finished watching it tonight, believe it or not. Hi, Trissa. Oh, wait a minute, Trissa, I've never found a horror movie. Let me create one for you, Trissa. That'll scare you. What was I going to say? Sienna, your burp's coming up in a bit. Oh, the children in the corn. Oh, God. Oh, wait a minute. What were they called? Screamers, not Scanners. That's a horror film you need to look at. Check that out. Scanners. That was a film. Oh, God. That's a good horror film. Pardon me. The best horror film. The best horror film I have heard and seen so far is The Lizard Lady from Otter Creek. I don't know if you've heard that film. It stars, what's that actress's name? Former pole dancer. And a fluffer. Animal. And I think the guy was an animal fluffer for animal porn. Oh, yeah, John Cook and Lynette Preston. There you go. That's a horror film you need to check. That's a horror film you need to check. That'll keep everyone awake for years to come. But anyway, I watched a film tonight called Carry On, about an ATF agent who's getting blackmailed by a terrorist or someone who is quite intelligent. It's a big plot to put, a bomb on a plane. The plot, I'm not going to give away too much of the plot because believe it or not, it only happens halfway through. You get a couple of hints, but it happens in the film. But it's very action packed. Yeah, there's a good storyline. One story then overlaps another story. There's about 2 or 3 different storylines going on. There's one guy's trying to prove himself, but right then when he tries to prove himself, he then gets taken psychologically hostaged. So basically, he has to put this chiefest grandma, my first live. Well, welcome to the live stream. Sit back, enjoy, and people are very nice here. They will treat you with the same respect you treat them. So welcome to the stream. Hi, Georgia. How are you doing? Anyway, so Carry On is a good film. It is. I mean, my score for Carry On is 8 out of 10. It's got a good story to it. It's got good action parts in it. It's got a very good dynamic back and forth. There's really good acting in it. I'm a little bit sort of disappointed in the female, the lady, or the female lead. But other than that, it is a film worth to watch with your girlfriend, partner, husband, boyfriend, whatever. It's worth looking at. Yeah. And then obviously Skeleton Crew. I need to remind people about Skeleton Crew. That if you get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's interesting. It is very interesting. I keep on forgetting the guy's name. I had his name in my on the tip of my tongue, and I've gone and forgot it. Oh, let me go and check. Please hold. Let me go on. That's it. Yes, Jude Law, Nick Frost, and Kerry Condon. That's Condon. Are starring in it, and it is a sort of a series, a Disney series, adventure sci-fi, and it is actually quite a good series. It's a shame they only do like 25 minutes to half an hour or 35 minutes on it, but yeah. And going back to the Transformers very quick, that Anthony Hopkins, he plays a really good character in Transformers: The Last Knight. You have to. He is a good actor, and he always has been, especially in what was it, Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, a little bit of the canty with this little fry. No, Georgia, no. Sorry, I ducked out. Friends in the local group needed to offload. Meeting up again, which it's all good, Lisa. It's all good. You know, everyone is welcome here. Right, so that's films. Yes, that's the films. Now it's I got a little bit of. Are you ready for the next one? Let's go for the next one. Oh no, sorry, no, wrong. Film review history. Oh, look at the new picture. Ooh. Right. Now, film review history, people go, why are you doing reviews on history of the films? Well, the thing is, sometimes it's very good to do some film history. Now, when I was watching Carry On and I saw the TSA and everything else, they portray, everything like that happened after the 9/11, which was in 2001, which was the cause of everyone going to Iraq. But we're not going to get into the politics and everything. But what I find quite interesting is the level of security, right, that happens in American airports. And then I'm sitting there, after I watched the film, I sat there and I was like, hang on a second. And I'm not going to give the film away because there's a lot of twists in this freaking film. And one of them's a pistol. You'll see it. And there's other stuff that I'm like going, well, hang on a second. If they're so anal about security, and so paranoid about security and everything else, why the hell are they able to film this in a live airport? Yeah, a lot of these people were, a lot of these people were seen as extras, and they can cut off a whole terminal and then use the terminal to film this. But I just sort of put myself in a position going, well, hang on a fucking second. Is it this easy to get someone to do what you want them to do? I mean, come on. You're richly giving people idea. I mean, every time I watch films like this, the first thing comes to mind. So what happens if some idiot is watching this, right, and he wants to do something stupid? Or she. I mean, so if they start coming up with these sci-fi films where aliens are landing and, all this crap, I mean, what's next? Yeah, what's next? They got the military walking through the streets in the film. Oh, don't worry, we're just making sure that everyone's fine. And you don't realize that you've been under martial law for about 2 months or so like that. It's just fucking stupid. A lot of Hi, Teddy Bear. Teddy Bear Love 39. Well, hello, Teddy Bear. Yeah, okay. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, it is very interesting. It is very interesting what's coming out. And I, for some reason, as soon as I finished watching that film, there was a short. Oh, what was it? Baldwin, the uncle of Justin Bieber, and he made a very weird sentence. He said, "Isn't it strange that all the films that came out for Christmas were all these type of films like Carry On and stuff like that?" And I'm like going for, and it made sense. It did make sense, like Dear Santa or Dead Santa or something like that with Jack Black. Someone writing off to Satan. I mean, it does make you think, doesn't it? It does make you think. But yeah, we're not going to get into that. Film history. We're going to go back to what we were talking a couple of streams ago about the Red Tails and about 688 and stuff like that with black troops. I want to discuss about, the thing is that I need to make sure that people have an open mind about this, because it wasn't just black Americans who formed battalions and regiments in the Civil War or in the Second World War, formed battalions or regiments or division, it was also on our side from the British. We had members from the Indian Army who are now obviously independent in India. We had Nepalese, the Gurkhas. And the Gurkhas, if you ever come across a Gurkha, never put your hands on their shoulders, ever. You won't like the response, and never attack or talk about their family unless you want your throat where it is. It's the there was a lot of things that happened in the past that shouldn't be repeated. And history should never, the past history should never repeat itself for the future. And people need to learn from that. But there's a lot of people I've come across who watch films, and they watch the film for the excitement, for the content of the film, and they don't sort of understand the story of that film. Like, look at Schindler's List. When it premiered, I went to watch it with a lady friend, and we watched it. And when we walked out, she was in tears, and I was like going, I need to check this. I need to find out. I need to look into this. That's what my brain was doing. And it turns out that there is an individual who saved over 1,800, I believe, 1,800 Jews from the ultimate ending. And he did it through his industry. He did it industrially. He used his industry and everything else to get these people out of, to safety. And it is true, if you watch Schindler's List at the end, right, those troops didn't want to be there. They were all Wehrmacht or Luftwaffe, which is Wehrmacht is army, Luftwaffe is air force, and they were all regulars. They were not conscripted, or they didn't get dragged in like Hitler Youth or anything like that. They were actual soldiers. So basically, when the war was over, they just went, "I'm going home." Yeah, and that's what if you do some research on the end of the war, Germans marching back. There was I need to see if I can find it because I read it a long time ago. There was a report where American troops were, pushing, and they were moving on, and they heard singing, and they had these multiple Shermans tanks, and I think they had like one squadron of tanks or something like that, and crap loads of infantry, and they heard this singing, and it was German. And so, like, they were going, okay, then. And there was a thing. This is now going into the war. There was a thing about, white flags. There'd been situations where white flags were used for a ruse. So basically, white flag would come up. You go and talk to them, people, and the next, gunfire starts. Happened in the First World War as well. It happens. There's nothing you can do about that, right? People will abuse certain things that fall under the Geneva Convention. But anyway, so you've got all I could hear is this German singing, and it was one of the biggest German tunes. It wasn't that Panzerlied, but it was a typical German song, and it was cheerful. And they were like, "What the fuck is going?" And this was, I think, a couple of months after Normandy, which happened in Bastogne, near Bastogne, the accidental massacre of American troops by the Germans because there was a lack of communication, because they were like 4 days ahead, so people weren't communicating, and fog of war and all that. And these guys were singing, and next thing you know, the frontline troops, the observers, they saw white flags, and basically German troops in rows of fight. I think there were I think 5 or 4 rows, and thousands deep, and they were just marching back home. And when they saw the Americans or they saw the Allied forces, they just, everyone who had a weapon moved over to the left, dropped the weapon, and then formed back up and carried on marching. And the Yankees and the Americans just let them march. And then basically they just got I think they got a whole company just to follow them back, just to make sure that they were not. But there was thousands of them. And yeah, because they knew everything was over, because the Russians were already they were already outside Berlin. In actual fact, they were already in Berlin at the time. They were not that far from Brandenburger Tor at the time, close to where the Bundesrat was. So yeah, so there's a lot of history on some of the films that you see that a lot of people don't know. So go and check it out, And there's also, oh God, I can't remember the name of the film. And it's about a dog handler, and she gets paired up with this German Shepherd who's got a severe chip on his shoulder. Got PTSD, and this dog was suffering from PTSD, and she ended up serving with him, and she got blown up from an IED or an RPG or whatever it was. Probably an IED because but it's oh God, what's the name of that film? What is the name of that film? Yeah, I'll let you know the next time I'm live. So, dog handler film, dog handler. Yeah, there's another one which has got there's quite a few, for dog handlers, films out, that cover dog handlers or troops in Afghan and in Iraq. So, but I'll let you know what one that was. So if you do watch a film, right, and it says it's based on true stories, do the research. Because I'll tell you one thing, then after you know the history and you go and re-watch that film, you will enjoy that film. That I can assure you of. Right. Okay. So we'll take a quick break here and we'll talk about horror films. Right. Okay. Let's have Georgia and Lisa Farr. I got into campy horror when I was a teen. Movies like Waxwork, Evil Dead, Warlock. Evil Dead, I thought was shite, but funny. That guy, when he's walking around, what was he? He lost an arm and he ended up having a shotgun or an axe or a chainsaw or something attached to it, if I can remember. There you go, Megan Levy. That's the film. If you want to, it's a little bit of a tearjerker. So, and it's based on true events. And trust me, the bureaucracy and the paperwork and the red tape, that shit does exist. But go and watch it. Megan Levy. Go and check it out. You will enjoy it. So, anyway, horror films. I mean, wait. Okay, I do apologize. I needed to now put Georgia and my 2 older brothers tormented me with horror movies until I stayed a weekend with a friend and we watched back-to-back horror movies. That's one way to do it. Oh, does anyone remember the film's Omen? Oh yeah, 2001, The Space Odyssey. Yeah, that was weird. That was very strange. The Hills of Eyes, that's good. That's a good one as well. What, The Omen? Yeah, that. I can remember the first time I saw that, and my old man let me watch it. Well, actually, when did I watch that? No, it wasn't. But it was that. Yeah, I can remember. I was sitting there and I was watching it, and the kid was standing there, and he was like, "Rrr." And there was this truck with a plate glass window on it, and there's this guy, and then the truck just reverse hit its brakes, and the glass pane just went. Yeah, I'm not going to go into what happened after that. Yeah. Let's put it this way, he was a half a foot shorter. But yeah, The Omen was, that was a sit. And you had Omen, Omen 2, Omen 3, and then, oh God. Some of the films, like, does anyone remember the name Klaus Kinski? Anyone remember him? German actor. Hi, Marie. Does anyone remember Klaus Kinski? No? So go and check out what films he did. That guy he was weird. He was weird as an actor. He was weird as a person. He was very, very fucking. He was, put it this way, you wouldn't want to let him in a room with women and other people because he was very strange. He was very open minded. He was very, put it this way, yeah, he was weird. Klaus Kinski. Actually, fact, let me have a look. Let me just Google it. Klaus Kinski. Yes. Now, if you look at his face, Klaus Kinski is so difficult that one of his producers plotted to. That is true. Basically, one of his producers plotted to unalive him. He actually attacked one of the producers on set, and it was actually filmed. Yes, he was Nosferatu. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he was a very interesting individual. Very interesting. Yeah, German actor Klaus Günther Karl Nabzinski. He born 1926 and passed away 91. Yeah, and he was renowned and notorious for volatile personality and his behavior. I mean, he was on stage. He went to get interviewed by a German channel, and he turned up half drunk, and he was very, very, very rude to everyone. He was swearing and he was smoking, and yeah, he was. I followed some of his films. Yeah, but the thing is, this guy was able to speak. I mean, he spoke multiple languages. He and over his whole career, the first time I came across him, it wasn't Nosferatu. I think it was like one of these spaghetti westerns. I can't remember what one it was. Um, yeah, and then he played in a film where there was a young girl who was an orphan, and she kept on getting bullied and mistreated by people, and he was a hairdresser or something like that. And the storyline is that he was, I don't know, he was like some sort of like hitman or something like that, and he would teach her everything that he knew. And obviously, the older she got, the wiser she got, and then she found out that he was the responsible to, of causing her to become an orphan. So she gave him the opportunity, and because he got so sad because he accepted her as his own child, he unalived himself in his barbershop. Yeah, that guy was. He was. There was a lot of stories about him attacking directors, producers, other stars. Yeah, I know, Tim. Welcome to the stream, mate. How you doing, bud? But yeah, he was a nasty piece of work. That's right. He was in a few dollars more, wasn't he? What films? And he played Five for Hell. That was it there. Ah, yes, and he was, and he had SA allegations against him as well. Kindermund, which is translated for child's mouth, a book he wrote. Yeah. But anyway, well, good morning to you, Tim, as well. To be honest with you, SMN, I didn't really get into that. I've forever been a fan of Burgess Meredith. Burgess Meredith. Let me have a look. I don't know who that is. I recognise him by face. Oh, what was that? Oh, yes, I remember him. Yes, in the Rocky film, he played the trainer. Yes, yeah. Oh shit, he played the Penguin in Batman. Get the fuck out of here! I didn't know that. Grumpy Old Man, yeah, I remember that. Rocky, yeah. Grumpy Old Man, yeah. Seen that. Rocky 3, seen it. Rocky 2, seen it. Rocky, seen it, yeah. I think he was in the Twilight Zone as well, if I can remember correctly. Yes. Yeah, but going right. Anyway, so but anyway, that's enough review for tonight. But we can, I mean, later on at the end of the stream with the questions and answers, then we can talk about a little bit more about stuff. Okay, so we'll have a guess what we're going on to now. I'll tell you what we're going on to now. Are you ready for this? This is what we're going. This is what we're doing. Oh, God, come on. Oh, dear. The fear in his face. He's afraid. He's so scared. Oh, God, no. Do we have to do it? Yes, we're going to do it. Dum, dum, dum. The news. Right. Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the news, shall we? I mean, you can't fucking go wrong on this one. So what could possibly go wrong? Let's talk. Let's go. Yes, right. As you know, first of all, everybody who's just joined, welcome. And we're going to have a little bit of a chat. We're going to talk about all the crap that's been going on. Okay, yes. And I didn't even get the chance to... write down what I wanted to write down. Oh, dear me. Anyway, it's been a very interesting few days, hasn't it? Ever since Womblegob had information posted about her criminal record and cases and everything that's happened, about apparently having a dual driving license, which I've never heard of before. The fact that all this has come out and people have been posting all this stuff, which is quite interesting, because it's funny that when you've got two individuals on a platform going, oh yeah, we got all that information, we got everything, we got this, we got that, but every time they say that, someone gets doxxed. You've got Bruce Almighty, absolute clown of a lawyer, right? Sits on their platform and goes, "Oh, I've been doxxed. They've doxxed my phone number and my email address." Well, hey, newsflash, spaceman. Have a guess what? I mean, obviously you've got quite a bit of intelligence to be able to pass your bar exam, which is still questionable because someone like you passing that, they must have been really lax in them days. But the fact that you actually say that, but you've got your contact information and your web page or website, which apparently was down, and you've got your Massachusetts LLC link as well on LinkedIn, on Yelp, and other pages, informational pages, which is all public, by the way. Now, if the information is public, and let's not forget the documents, the court documents, and everything else, isn't it strange that the court put your email on the documents? Oh dear, they're doxing you, Bruce. I think you need to I think you need to jump back on the two Womblegobs stream and complain about the courts. Oh, wait a minute, you did that last night. Yes, you did. Yeah, and then also you dragged someone else in that had nothing to do with this. And had nothing to do with you because they don't want anything to do with you because you're the most unprofessional lawyer that's probably been that exists. I mean, Stark. I mean, I think you should take a page out of his book. I mean, considering that I haven't seen him once. Well, I've seen you type his name out incorrectly, may I say, 3 times, and I've called you on it 3 times, and you've even mentioned that I've called you out on it twice. That says a lot, doesn't it? But have we heard from Scott? Stark? No, we haven't. What about Sean Mine? Have we heard anything from him? Oh, no. I mean, the video I did last night was while you were live. You were live on that platform whining and whinging and your ego. You know, there must be a puncture in your ego balloon because you sounded very deflated last night. I mean, you sounded like Lisa the day before when she was there like crying on her fucking going on the game. Yeah. Grow a pair. I mean, seriously, sitting on your platform crying, what you expecting people to go, "Oh, Lisa, come to my manly bosom. Let me hug you. Let me give you some love. Here, take my money. Here's a checkbook. I'll sign all the checks. There you go. You just write what you want. You go and grift, girl. You go and grift." No one has the balls to say what I'm saying. And the thing is, at the end of the day, all I'm saying is what I'm seeing. And who's responsible for what I'm seeing? You are. Who's responsible for what we're all hearing? You are. Here's the thing. Like I said on my... by the way, I'm never going to eat fucking cheese and mac and pasta and that. I'm put off for life because of you fuckers. I shall seek reputation. That's what I'm going to seek. No, I find it quite strange that you can sit on your platform. Oh boy, I'm trying so hard not to swear right now. Oh man, you sit on your platform day in, day out for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just to try to convince people that what you're saying is true. Well, let me tell you something right now. Everything that people have seen on the hate group and Facebook, you know, all these documents and everything else about you driving, knowingly driving a vehicle with no license. What would have happened if you'd have hit someone? What would have happened if you'd have been involved in an accident? Who would have been responsible for the care of that individual who'd have been probably seriously hurt or, God forbid, unalived because of your inability to follow the law? A driving license. From what I've heard, it's very easy to deal with your issues like tickets or fines or something like that. And you can, from what I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but from what I've heard, you can fix it so you can get your license back. Now, what part of that is so difficult to understand? And the fact, do you know what? Funny enough, Georgie, I was just about to say that. Do you know the fact that you drag every single person of Jeremy Hell's family through this? It shows what type of person you are. And here's the thing: Jeremy Hells is not the only person you've done this to. There's multiple people you've done this to. Go figure. And the fact that you have, and like, I'm going to repeat this until people actually start doing their own research and start learning. Now, I just don't sit here and talk just to, so to listen to my own voice. No, I don't. Be honest with you, you guys bore the shit out of me. I would rather go and sit on the front and take the best dump I've had in this year. And we're only on the 9th of January. And so far, I've had 2 fantastic phone visits, and I am happy. But you bite the bullet. You beat the biscuit by freaking miles. You have never ever substantiated. You never ever systematically shown any type of evidence whatsoever. Anything. And then suddenly someone asks a question about their donations, what you've done with them, and wants to see transparency, and then suddenly you get your ass fucking, because I bet you any money you don't probably have it anymore. And here's another thing: if donations are going to your personal PayPal, may it be, or fucking whatever apps you use, Venmo and stuff like that, that money goes into your bank. So here comes my question. What are you so afraid of? What are you hiding? Because I'll tell you one thing now. If people think that you are committing, and this is allegedly and speculation, if anyone who's donated decides to go, do you know what? I think I've been ripped off. The fact that people are saying in your chat that Lynette should not be allowed to talk anymore, she's not allowed to post in there anymore, and the way she's been behaving herself. Where's all this money gone? I've been saying this for a long time. Transparency. Yes. But you can't do that. You sit on your platform, you accuse people of God knows what, you threaten people indirectly and directly, you try to intimidate people, you try to send other people after people like myself and other. And the thing is, like, I am not even monetized, and I don't think I'm going to be monetized for quite a while. And you know why? Because I'm not a grifter. For me, this is about truth and facts. The financial, the monetary side of it, that can come later. That doesn't bother me. I assure you of that. It doesn't bother me one bit. But the fact that last night you sat on there acting like if nothing happened from yesterday, it was like there was a total different person on that platform. Yesterday you were crying like a little 2-year-old. And then last night you got right with Bruce. And you had your little OnlyFans, Kenya, whatever her name is, and Tori, your little clique. Isn't that interesting? And I find it quite strange. Like, I mentioned about Bruce not being on your stream, and he hasn't been there for a while, and then suddenly he turns up. Do you know you guys are so fucking predictable? Yeah, I remember David Richards when he came here. He didn't last long. He was yeeted. He could have came back the day later, but he didn't. He decided not to, but that's his choice. But yeah, I yeeted him out of here. And look what he goes and does. I can tell you one thing, David Richards, if you are listening to this, Okay, as a fellow Brit, you've already been advised by someone else. As a fellow Brit, let me tell you something right now. You must be English, because only English do stupid shit like that. You won't see the Celts doing that, that's for sure. But here's the thing. You're never going to see that money again. They're never going to tell you. They are never, ever going to show you the actual truth, where that money's going. They're going to say, oh, it went into the Christmas stuff and went into toys and everything else. That's what they're going to tell you. Because they will not show transparency. They will not show what they received, where it's gone to, nothing. And if they do, watch the date. Because what they do, they'll sit outside streams like this and they'll listen to what we say. Or they'll have people listening to what we say. And then they'll go back and report back. And then they'll go, oh, right, okay. You know, this, that. Nimrod, do you want to stay in the stream? Just asking. You know, and that's what's going to happen, because here's one thing. Now, I'm not particularly interested in what Tug and Megan and other people cover. I'm not going to sit in their stream and then come back here and talk about what they've covered, because that'll be time wasting and it'll be irrelevant, because the thing is, it's already been covered. And at the same time, they can cover it way better than I can, because they're used to covering this. And the fact that you've got people already on Facebook attacking them, that should speak volumes of what these people are like. But it's about the court case, and you've got Bruce is the center of the problem. Bruce is stopping, he's trying to cause as many issues as he possibly can to either inflict more costs on Jeremy Hells or drag it out. And that's what he's been doing. Hi, Vicky. How you doing? Right. And as far as I'm concerned, okay, I think the judge should take him and just fucking hold him in contempt, because he is not doing what he is supposed to do. He's playing around. He's actually playing around the actual thing, and then he will do it when he wants to do it. But he doesn't realize that he has to give the information that's requested. And the judge now has gave them the ultimatum. You either deal with it, or I will deal with it. If you can't come to an agreement, then I will do it. And if the judge gets involved, this will be now the third time the judge has got involved, right? Because the first time when he got involved, he got them to come to Pensacola to do the deposition there, to redo the deposition. The second time he got involved is when he told Bruce to wind his neck in and to do as he's told. Now, this is the third time Bruce has been told by this same judge, do as you're told. Don't do as I say. Do as you. It's basically, don't do as I do, but do as I say. And that's what Bruce is doing. He's trying to push this judge to a point, and then he's going to go, oh, the judge is against me, just like he did with his little fucking issue, that disciplinary that he's got. He's trying to drag the judge into it. He's playing exactly the same trick he did with his Connecticut disciplinary hearing. Think about it. Step out of that box. Take a step back. Take a deep breath and think about it. He's answering back, interrupting the judge. His conduct towards the judge has been anywhere near close to professional. Yes, you can argue, but the thing is, when a judge tells you to shut up 3 times, what does that tell you? Lisa, that I could have said it any better. This case, this whole situation is so out of fucking hand, and people just need to step back and think of what they're doing. right? Concentrate on the court case, concentrate on the trespass case, concentrate on somewhere down the line, the CPS and the DA and the police need to get involved and do what they're paid to do, and that's their fucking job. They need to start investigating. There is now enough evidence to prove that that child is being neglected. Simple. I mean, if you listen to everything that's been going on, like, you'll know. You know if you know, but you'll know. You know. Now, let's talk about the case itself, shall we? Which seems to fail with a lot of people. Now, this originally this case, right, was just basically, Jeremy Hills and them two. And then when this case, when it started getting like this, who came into the scene? Lisa Rabusi, self-proclaimed PR team for Lynette Preston. And then they done a 180 on that. The amount of 180s that woman has done, I'm surprised she's not fucking fallen over that from being so dizzy. Lynette Preston has not, she's been quiet. And why has she been quiet? Because she's getting everything done for her. And they've turned around to her, and this is probably what they said. Right, Lisa, don't say anything. Lynette, don't say anything. Let us do the talking, okay? You tell us what you want to say, and then we'll put it in our stream. That's what's been said. And then suddenly, right, you've got Lynette and Pickles or whatever suddenly turning up in that stream and talking. Can you remember that night when Bruce typed in there, said, stop Lynette, remove Lynette from chat? Can you remember that? Anyone remember that? How he wanted her removed from chat. So what? Why was that? Was he afraid that she was going to say something that he didn't want people to see? Or was he so afraid that she was going to fucking say something that was going to cause even more problems for this case? Well, newsflash, Bruce. Obviously, you don't know Lynette. She'll never keep her mouth shut. She'll never stop typing. She'll never play the victim. Stop playing the victim. That's your problem. That is your problem. And you trying to silence her in public on that platform, that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. The fact that you are whining and moaning and crying because Silverman wasn't giving you the information that you need. All right, Georgianne, have a nice night. Right, that wasn't giving you the information that you needed, and you sat on that platform, you swore, you got angry, you got frustrated. Obviously, you can't handle stress that well, can you? And the fact that over the last 2 months, Jeremy's just being Jeremy. Here's another thing which I find quite interesting. How many times has Jeremy been in Otter Creek and she didn't know about it? How many times? You do know that, like, we're now in the 21st century, that people can actually pre-record, stuff, and then take it with them and then upload it, and you still think they'll live there. You know that, don't you? You know how easy it is to upload a video on a live stream and just play that video? How do you know that this is not a live? Well, obviously it's common sense. I'm talking to people who've come in the stream. Now, it would be very hard for me to actually... Janice Klein, wait till she gets to court. She will run her mouth. Oh, yes. Here's the thing. When all this goes to court, okay, they have to produce evidence. With the amount of evidence that's going to be coming from the Hale side, they're going to need a truck to drop that off. I mean, what else do you need to see? Everything that's being recorded and that's being put up on YouTube. Oh, that brings me to another thing. Remind me. That brings me up to onto YouTube. YouTube is an international platform. Yeah, it covers everything. There's people on here that do everything, right? And it covers some genres that even I don't like, but unfortunately it happens. Now, when you sit on a platform and you flap your gums about a judge, about another lawyer, and about the case, how much credibility do you think you're going to still have by the time you get to court? And by the looks of it, I think the reason why I heard a rumor that you were looking for a lawyer, shout out to any lawyers who want to jump on this fucking money gravy train that's going to end up costing you instead of you getting anything. Yeah. Bruce, you're an absolute idiot. Why would you be on a hate campaign platform and then ask for any other lawyers to support you? You absolute fucking buffoon. There's not going to be one lawyer who would want to get involved in this. And I doubt very much Stark or Martin will want to get involved in this. I mean, if they have any common sense and they want to keep whatever reputation they have intact, I would not come near you with a 10-foot barge pole. You like the leper that shouldn't be allowed into a building. You are a disease that shouldn't be anywhere near a human being. You are systematically proven to everyone, even though we know what the truth is, you are proving everyone right, even people who've been wrong. And there's been a few people who have been wrong. They sat on their platforms and said stuff that's wrong. But even them, you're proven right. So this case is basically, this case was over a few months ago because, here's the thing, here's the prediction. This is my prediction. This court case, it may last a few days more than it's anticipated. The 5 days, I doubt very much. They've been given 5 days. There could be an extension, maybe. The judge probably wants it done on the 5th day. And the thing is, when you've got a jury sitting there for 5 days listening to all the shit that you're going to be saying and everything else, hopefully those jurors will be unbiased. That whole situation is all unbiased. And I wish, yeah, put it this way, I wish I was a flower on the wall on there in that court case, that's for sure. Hell, if I was able to sit in that courtroom right behind you, every time you turn around and look back, I'd smile at you and then give you a little wave and blow you a little kiss. It doesn't mean, every hole's a goal. It just means that I'm just showing my gratitude for making it easy for everyone. And the fact that you go onto a platform with one person who's got a personal vendetta against Jeremy Helms, another person who sits there glorifying walking around stage with a freaking human being with a collar, And do us a favor, Tori, next time you have a picture taken with you, put a fucking bra on, will you? Jesus Christ. But seriously, I mean, what else do people need to hear about this case that they haven't heard before? What haven't you heard that, like, I mean, what else do I have? I mean, me personally, this is all my own personal opinion. Here's a good thing. Here's a good thing. I mentioned this in my video last night. You go ahead and watch it if you want. I put that video up about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Whenever you were live, I can't remember. And it was the part where you were talking. And when I heard that, I that was enough for me. I didn't have to hear anything else. The fact that you are basically saying that everything that's happened on YouTube is everyone else's fault except yours or theirs or Lynette's. Well, let me put it this way. All this grifting with Lynette, all this that's happened with Lynette, Germany, what happened in Germany, was that on YouTube? No, it wasn't. What about Northport? What about West Rotunda in Florida? What about Port Charlotte, Florida? What about Otter Creek, Florida? All these different places where she's used 4 different names. And just so everyone understands this, 4 different addresses from 1996 to 2020, 4 different addresses, 4 complete different names, like I showed you the other day. But 3 of those addresses were between 2012 and 2015. And from 2015 all the way to today, it's just 1 address. And you're still different name. Now here's my question. Why would you have to change your names and have 4 former marital names, surnames on each name? Why would you have to do that? What are you hiding? Why would you have to use a different name? And here's another thing that's come to the surface, that's been publicized. The vehicle that you have, the Jeep Gladiator, starts from $40,000 upwards. The one you've got is around between $60,000 and $80,000. Now, in a newspaper clipping, it said that you used a child's benefit check and money from a fundraiser to buy that car. So technically, now tell me if I'm wrong, but technically, isn't that car doesn't the owner of that car be Harley Grace? I mean, because obviously, she bought that car with her child benefit. You didn't. And you're probably still paying that car off. I don't think you bought it outright. But you used the child's Social Security check or the money, as it says in the news clipping, and fundraising and other money to get that vehicle. So therefore, technically, that child owns that car, not you. And she's too young to drive it, and she's too young to say yes or no. So that's another thing to look into. That's a very interesting development, because when I read that, I was like, oh, right, she's grifting, she's used money. But I find that very interesting because, it'd be very nice to know what the law is over in Florida. Well, if there is any fucking law. I mean, with everything that's happened in the past, hell, you can walk up to someone, punch them square in the face, and walk away, and nothing will happen to you. That's the way the law deals with people down there. And I don't condone that. That was just an example, so don't take that out of context. But that's what it sounds like. And the fact that hi, Missy lady, good evening, good morning, I mean. And the fact, and here's another thing, the fact that all this evidence is self-inflicted. Because here's the thing, when a grifter gets the attention, they think, oh yeah, people will forget about this, and people will forget that. But why is it every time there's a news clipping about Lynette Preston, it's about grifting? Why is it every time that I hear a story about her and then a new husband, why is it that I've heard things that are quite concerning? And I'm not going to mention these things until I have done my research and I have done my checks and I've crossed my T's and dotted my I's. And then once I have, because you know what I'm like with my research, I don't fuck around. And if I find the proof, I am gonna put it out there, and if it's public, I will. If it's private and it's not being publicized, I will not. And I have a lot of stuff that I can't publicize, and trust me, if I did, you guys would fucking want to borrow, right? a big digger, not one of these little diggers, but one of these in the mines, you know, these for like 20,000 ton or 20-ton buckets that can pick up like the size of a school bus worth of dirt and put it in the back of a Terex. Oh, the Terex, that's that big truck in the mines. Trust me, I've got shit on my external hard drive that even made me look twice. Because there's a lot of stuff that people don't know about Lynette Preston or John Cook. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people are not aware of, especially about Germany and especially about... Now, here's a funny thing about... What about your husband in jail? He was doing a life sentence, and you visited him 3 times a week because he needed contact. Well, that didn't last long, did it? What happened? I had an argument. Yeah. What was it about? Was he making moonshine in his toilet? Or he didn't sign over what? Didn't he even give you the lease for the house or something? No. Yeah. It'd be very interesting if a investigative reporter would go to that jail and go and talk to your former husband and just, offer him, a monthly payment of $50 into his commissary and go, hey. But then that's bribery. But the thing is, at the end of the day, if he wants to sell his story, technically, legally, he can do that, even if he's in jail. But hey, I don't condone anyone contacting anyone, and I don't want anyone to contact anyone at any time. So please don't do that. All right. But I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, yeah, what would happen? What would we hear? And it's like other husbands as well. What would the stories be? I mean, 99% of the time they'd probably go, fuck no, I don't want to talk about her. I don't want her. I don't want to even fucking remember that she exists. That's probably what you would hear. Yeah. And look, it's all coming to the surface very slowly. It's like, like one of those marsh pits, where there's oil plopping up. I think there's a place in Los Angeles or Las Vegas where there's an oil pit where they've got like a dinosaur statue and there's oil plopping up. There's little bubbles coming up. Yeah. What about that? And the best thing is, there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been mentioned in regards of you moving around a lot in Florida. There's a lot of information out there that hasn't been mentioned. But at the end of the day, I'm very, very careful what I say because hi Melanie, how you doing? There's other people who are covering this who are better equipped than I am to cover this. And that's Megan and Tug. They're really good at covering this. The tar pits, yeah. So yes. And the fact that you sat on that platform last night, like, and people still, and you will get people sitting there. Oh, and Ed Lang, Zen Warrior. Fucking Zen Warrior. Yeah. Oh, God, you're funny. You're funny, but you're making so many bloody mistakes, sunshine. I know who you are. Shit, I know who you are. And you're not Ed Lang. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Did I just? Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, that should have said that. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, technical difficulties. Yeah, whoops. Missy lady, I just mentioned that. He's got a life sentence. Yes, so he's got a life sentence. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Lisa, I try to be as close and honest to the truth as I possibly can, because at the end of the day, I like to make sure that people understand that they need to, you know, yeah, they need to understand. They need to understand that there's a lot that hasn't been said, and that's going to come out in court. And here's the thing: this is what I can't understand. With the amount of husbands that she's had, right? I'm no psychologist. I'm not no therapist. Counsel it officially, yes. All right. If I had her sitting in front of me, and with everything that's said and everything that's happened, right, I would recommend psychological evaluation. I would recommend she would speak to someone professionally, because I think there's an underlying issue that's gone on way before she, way before. This has happened in the 80s, or around when she was a young teenager, probably 18, 19, 20. Something's happened for her to go from one guy to another guy, for a certain period of time. Because, like, if she's been married 6 times and she's only been married for 10, no, that's virtually impossible. She's gone from one guy to the next guy to the next guy. And that's what's the interesting part. And I've said this from get-go, from day one. She needs to have a psychological evaluation, and not just her now. I think, the fact, and this is what gets me, right? The fact that John Cook has his former wife in a bottle in the shed, I think cremated, I presume, it's high fly on the wall. Everyone's got their thoughts on on Lynette Missy Lady, but I'm discussing what I'm thinking. And the thing is, right, is that this is what the confusion problem is. Everyone has got their input, but the fact of the matter is that it's the facts that need to be shown and need to be spoken of. It's the facts. Now, I have got an opinion on every single person involved in this. That goes on both sides. I have got opinions. I've got evidence against so many fucking people on both sides of this. And the thing is, my thoughts about everything that I've got is irrelevant. It's the factual proof that's relevant. Everything else is irrelevant. It's you need to follow the breadcrumbs. And some people don't do that. Some people will just either listen to other people, or they'll just look for something and go, oh, look at this. Perfect example. I think Tug was live with Megan earlier on, and it was quite strange. I was going onto Facebook to actually check something, an old post I did, and as soon as I opened Facebook, bang, there it was, anonymous poster going on about Megan and Tug, and I went, hang on a second, they're still live. Oh, someone's copying me, but they were still live, and they're going on about and this is the problem. It's the facts. And a lot of people don't like the fact that I will put people on a spot when it comes to shit like that. If people get stuff wrong, I will correct them. Because the thing is, the moment you say something wrong, takes that fucking storyline totally in a different direction, then suddenly you've got Piccadilly Circus and no one knows what's going on. And then next, everyone is sitting in Tugs or Megan's or Jeremy's or someone else's live stream, and they're going, oh, shit. But the fact that since last month, August, October, fucking July, fucking since I've sort of dug into this, a lot's come to the surface. And I've seen a lot of people go wrong on certain things because they overthink things, they overanalyze stuff. And that's what's happening right now. The court, you've got so many people saying so many different things. If you've got one person say one thing and it turns out to be true, then why repeat it? Because that's what is called Chinese whispers. Because one person will say that, another person will say this. Suddenly you've got someone sitting on their platform going, "It is true. Lynette Preston is a lizard lady. She is not from this planet. They have come to this planet to colonize us because their planet is dying. So we should accept them and welcome them to planet Earth. And they like hamsters and rabbits for lunch and dinner." That's how stupid it gets. And all you have to do is look at what's going on. Okay, a lot of people are not going to like what I say and what I've just said, but newsflash. Biggest issue you got right now is this dragging their feet. And I think I don't know if I don't know. I to be honest with you, I missed Tug and Megan's stream tonight, so I can't comment. But I'm just going to say this: is that whatever's happened, I've seen the court documents, and the fact that the judge has now told them, you guys need to phone each other up and sort this shit out. And if you can't sort it out, then you're going to come sit in front of me. And I don't think this time the judge is going to be a happy teddy bear. I don't think he's going to be playing games with either side. He's made that absolutely categorically clear. He's not going to be playing around. Hey, Star, if you need to go to sleep, sweetheart, you go to sleep. Or just lay there and listen to me, and I'll just sing, "Go to sleep, close your eyes. You're gonna sleep like a teddy bear. Close your eyes, go to sleep, so I can steal your wallet and your Jeep. Da, 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 da." Sorry, bad habit. I mean, one thing I'm going to give Tug and Megan kudos for is that they bring it. They bring the facts to the table, and I love them for that. Because sometimes, you sit there. I'm just me with my opinion, and I do my own research, and But when I see them, because they're experienced with this, and they've been with this case way longer than I have. I'm waking the cat up. I'm sorry. Meow, 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 meow. No, I'm sorry about that. But the thing, here's the thing, though. When I sometimes when I sit in Megan and Megan or Tugs or Shizzy's, and I sit there, and before I come in, I sit there for a while and I listen, so I don't come in blind, so I don't look like a dick, and I listen to it, and I think like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And no, I'm not going to jump on my platform and do my live stream and copy or say what they've said, because at the end of the day, if you can't do your own content, well, why do you go on live? And like tonight, speaking about this case, I'm speaking about the individual people, right? People need to be reminded who you're dealing with. Lynette Preston has not given anybody any justification whatsoever to say anything nice about her. Nothing. There's nothing justifiable whatsoever for anybody, for me to even say anything. She's a despicable, horrible person. Meow. Right? And John Cook, he's only there because she needs that witness. This is the thing. If you pay attention to what she says and how she says it, and throwing him under the bus and everything else, him going to jail. Okay, what was she like when he was in jail? Yeah, did you notice a change in her behavior? She was very sort of back offish. She very careful what she was doing and what she was saying and how she was behaving. Anyone else notice that? And then as soon as he comes back, it's back to the normal Lynette again. It's back to the mouth and the gob and the text messages and God knows what. And then all this other shit happens with Norport. People start coming out of the woodwork. And then what happens? Answering machine message. What else happens? A cease and desist directly directed at her. Interesting, don't you think? Or the fact that she doesn't, when she thinks that Jeremy is not in Otter Creek, not a peep. You can hear a barn mouse go. You can hear a barn mouse fart, not a peep. But as soon as she realizes that he's in Otter Creek, oh, he's stalking us. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, he's doing that. Interesting. Don't you think that is interesting? Yeah. Why the sudden flip in behavior? Yeah. Why? And here's another thing that a lot of people need to take into in consideration. Right? Just for a second, just work with me on this one. Okay. Say for example, all this shit would have happened. Jeremy would have turned up in Otter Creek. He would have done what he does, very boisterous and very loud, and doing his stories and everything else. And none of this shit, none of the negativity would have happened. Right? Otter Creek has about 110 people in it. You got loads of loads of rugs and everything else. He could have cleaned that little village up. He could have turned that village back into something really good, with the influence he had, with the following he's got, right? And he's doing a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff for that town, and village, and that village is now on the map. We didn't know who or what Otter Creek was until all this started. Now, just think for a second. If Preston and Cook would not been anywhere close to this, and Jeremy would have been able to do what he needed to do, right? 2 years down the road after he's got that property, I could tell you right now, Otter Creek would be on the map for many other reasons except this shit. That I can assure you of. And Otter Creek would have been making, they would have had the financial income because for tourism and everything else. An RV would have been packed full. Yeah, you've got Chiefland in one direction, you've got Cedar Keys in another direction. I mean, like, you would have had, you've got facilities there, and they could have turned that place. And then here's the thing, right? When the mayor changed, when Therese became mayor, things started working. Things started getting better and better and better, right? And it was because of Therese and the team that she had. She, like Zim, Therese, Zim, Belinda, and all these people. They cared about what they were doing. Not like the ones before, where it was all about, well, let's see how much I can get in my pocket before I overfill. They had everything they needed. They had everything there to rebuild Otter Creek into a fantastic place to live, or a fantastic place to be. They could have even influenced the voting and the sheriff and everything else. Now, hypothetically speaking, if he does sell that property, but he keeps the school and everything else, and he sells that property, okay, is Lynette going to drift on the person who buys it? Because I tell you one thing, they're going to know who she is. They're going to know exactly what's going on. And I doubt very much. And the fact why I call you guys Americanese? It's because the Chinese are buying up a lot of land in the United States. Right? And that's why I call you Americanese. That's one of the reasons. But think about it. Think about that scenario. Think about the fact that what would have happened if, just if, all this shit wouldn't have happened? How much positive input and how much monetary input there would have been for Otter Creek with Jeremy being there? And let me put it this way. It would have happened in the last 2 years. Otter Creek would have been seen exactly the same way as Chiefland or Cedar Keys. Not as good as Cedar Keys or not as good as Chiefland, but it would have been on the map. Because Otter Creek has a lot of history. We've already seen that where Travis has, and Belinda put pictures up, and Teresa's showing them. We've seen that. We've seen the pictures. We've heard the history. So much freaking history there. And just because of two people, well, actually, about one person grifting, that's all gone to shit. So who's to blame? And then you've got people on another platform grifting, lying, assuming, making allegations or bullying people, whatever you want to call it. So if you are someone who's sitting on the fence, here's a word of advice: get off that fence, look at exactly what's going on, and decide. Don't sit on the fence, because it's the people who sit on the fence are the people who can cause the most damage. Because all you're doing is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I'll tell you one thing: if these two people hadn't have done what they did or hadn't have been there, I can tell you now, Otter Creek wouldn't be the way it is now. It would be way better off. Way better off. But hey, who am I? Yeah, who am I? I'm just an observer. I'm just a person, like a person from Europe who has observed something happening in Florida, America. Go fucking figure what the interwebs can give you, eh? What the interwebs can give. And you've got two people who've probably spoilt it for everyone who lives in Otter Creek. Yes, okay, there are people in Otter Creek who are undesirable. Yeah, the rug addicts and Biscuit Boy. And the fact that there was a video of Biscuit Boy. I don't know if it's recent, but he's recorded an accident in Otter Creek or wherever it was, and he makes an allegation that Jeremy drove past and said unbecoming words to him. But here's the thing: he's standing there with his fucking video recorder or his phone recording an accident, right? A scene of an accident, and he's more concerned about words that have probably never were said. This is all speculation and allegedly, because there's no evidence unless Biscuit Boy can provide the video evidence of Mr. Hale driving past and doing what he alleged him to do. So, Biscuit Boy, here's a word of advice, fella. Right. Stay off the old or stay away from it. It's not good for you. Makes you say shit. Talk about drinking. Oh, Dr. Pepper. Ready, guys? Let's all take a nice deep breath and take some Dr. Pepper in. Yum, 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 yum. Now, pardon me. If you are a troll or a hater out there, I'm going to say this, and you can take this any way you fucking well like. If you are Lisa, Robbie, or any of those other fucking space cadets, or Bruce, or Tamara, or anyone else, I want you to heed my words, and I want you to listen very carefully what I've got to say. There you go. Did you hear that? Did you hear those words? Did you hear the contempt and the no quarter given? Did you hear that parlay that I just gave you that has now ended? Because if you're sitting outside my stream right now listening to me and you're still sitting out there, one, you're a fan. So thank you very much for your fandom. I really appreciate that. And two, you like me. Come on, admit it. You like me. You like me. Yeah. Right. And three, you need to remember one thing. You remember the old saying, Lisa, you said on your stream one night, you said, I bully the bullies. Well, numbnut, that makes you a bully. And considering of the history and everything I found out about you and other stuff that people don't know, I can happily confirm you are a bully. A shit one at that, but you are a bully. However, I'm not going to use my platform to belittle you, put you down. I'm going to let the populace, the interwebs, the Google searches and everything else with the public information that's out there, because our videos, mine, yours, everybody's, right, it's public knowledge. It's basically the public can watch these and they have an opinion. The reason I don't have my comments open is because I am so shit at responding to people. So I'd rather just say it. Thank you everyone for like I'm going to do now. Pay attention to this is what I would, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks and Wookiees, I would like to thank you so much for your being here and sitting here and listening to me burp and talk shit and, because that's apparently what I do. I talk shit. And I just want to thank you for being you. For you being sitting in your home, apartment, a house, your trailer or tent or igloo or bunker, sitting here on this stream, communicating with me 7,000 miles away. And it doesn't hurt, does it? Right? It doesn't hurt, does it? And the fact that I'm not using this negatively, but the fact that there's a lot of people who will try to, oh, look, I'm doing, I'll get this and that. Whatever people do with their platforms is entirely up to them. Like I said, I came with nothing, I'll leave with nothing. But the thing is, the amount of nice people I have met over the last 5-6 months, and the fact that I ended up going live, even though I didn't want to, but I ended up doing it, and I got to like it because I was able. And the reason I like going live is the fact that I can sit here and I can talk to Ammo Girl, I can talk to Sienna, I can talk to SMN, I can talk to Lisa, I can talk to Vicky, I can talk to Tim, I can talk to people who do not even live in my area of the world. And that I fucking love. But you don't see that. You don't consider that. You don't even welcome that. It's all about the grift. It's all about the numbers. It's all about the clout. But how many of these fucking people have had a shitty life in the last year or a shitty couple of months or having a bad day? And then they come in and go, oh, Spawn, I've had a really shitty day. I was at the doctor's and I got this and that. And I'll go, really? How you doing? How you feeling? And actually caring for these individuals. Like there's people I haven't seen in here tonight, like Jen Thunder, Aussie Jen, Lilu, and other people. It's because they're probably asleep anyway. It's fucking 4:30 in the morning. But anyway, that's by and by. And the reason I've done my life tonight like this, and over the last couple of times, is because one, a lot of you said, oh, it's very late or very early in the morning, and a lot of people are tired and they want to go to bed. So I'm not going out of my way. I'm just going, well, okay then. I'll stay up until 4:30. I'll sleep when I kick the bucket. When I punch out, I'll be fine. I don't mind. But it's these people. Now, if you guys are outside and you're sitting there, oh yeah, sport is right, he's fucking, all that. No, I just don't do this for myself. I do it for these people here. We help each other. We communicate with each other. Now, if you want to be part of that, then fine, be part of that, right? Like I said, I don't hate anyone. But if you come in here and you want to start shit or cause shit, I assure you, I'll let these guys deal with you first. And if you're really unlucky and you've got Ammo Girl or you've got Nimrod or you've got Eric in here, they play with their food before they eat it. And I will just sit here and I'll carry on doing my stream and I'll just see you getting bounced around by these lot before they do yeet you out of the stream. Regardless if I know you or not. Hate is not welcome here. Delusion is not welcome here. Emotions are not welcome here because emotions cause problems. Now, so if Lisa comes in or SMN or Amago or someone else and they had a really shitty day, then I will allow them to vent. I will allow them to be able to vent because the thing is, they will have people in my stream who will support her. Or if it was SMN, or if it was Tim or anyone else. But I will not tolerate bullshit. I will not tolerate he said, she said, this shit. No, that stops. That stops. Because at the end of the day, okay, this platform for me has made me realize that I am talking to other human beings when I'm live. When I put my video up, I don't have that responsibility. But when I'm live, I do. And if you people are going to sit outside and you're going to listen in and you're trolling and then you go back and tell your lady, lizard, whatever, yeah, then you can crack on and do that. But remember one thing. You're the one who has to wake up every morning and look at your own reflection. Just saying. But anyway, I'm just pointing out the fact that everyone in my stream, all right, are treated equally. I will treat male and female exactly the same. And I don't care. If someone pisses me off, they'll find out about it. And I don't care if they're male or female. I'm an equal opportunist ass kicker. There you go. That sounded quite good, actually. Equal opportunist ass kicker. Hey, babe. Hey, sweetheart. You right? Yes, you are. Yeah. Hi, Bart. I really couldn't bear negative chat like some sort of mob. Not very productive and welcome. Sick entertainers are not. That's the whole. This is why there's stuff I am trying to. I am trying to stop swearing. I mean, as you've noticed, but it's very hard. You can't change an old dog. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So you just have to bear and grin it. And if people are offended with my swearing, grow up, grow a thicker skin. Life's way too short. Life's way too short. And remember, every time you get a chance, always tell everyone around you that you love them. Right. Anyway. So, unfortunately, my queen is asleep and the lioness is away, not talking on here tonight. 1 second. And it just amazes me how negative people can get. I never ever believed or thought that. I appreciate that, Simon. I never believed that people could be so spiteful, so hateful. I've 30 plus years in the military. Before that, I used to be a thumper. I used to go around. I mean, I used to get into fights a lot. I used to get in fights, and believe it or not, I used to pick fights with bouncers because I knew that bouncers could actually handle themselves. But you grow out of that shit, And, I've made mistakes in life. I've made mistakes even, even on YouTube. I've made quite a few mistakes. But I'm never going to make those mistakes again, especially with people. That's one thing I can assure you of. I will not make mistakes with individuals again. You have to work very, very hard to get trust from me again. But that's a good thing, because that means I was not, how can I put it? I wasn't really paying attention as much as I usually do. My mistake won't happen again. On that note, please excuse me, nature call. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves, be nice, and don't forget, I do have 1 or 2 lionesses in here tonight, so be very careful what you do. I'll be right back. I have returned indeed. Oh yes. Yeah, it's quite funny when you go to the bathroom. People think, oh, it's going to take. And so now you can know that when your fella or someone else goes to the bathroom, you know you can actually do it quite quick. Actually, that's a fact. I need to blow my nose. Yes. Right. Now, before we finish, here's one thing I'm going to tell everybody, and you can take this any way you like. And I don't give a crap about certain individuals going around copying me or saying repeat what I've said or whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, at least you know where it came from. But here's a word of advice I give to everybody: if someone is not producing the evidence and they're not showing facts or they're not showing proof, then there's one thing you do: you just fucking ignore them. Because over the last 4 months, probably even longer, well, actual fact, it has been longer, ever since the Womble Gobs and Deuce Boy and everyone else have been flapping their gums, you've noticed changes. Look at Jabba the Hoot, right? Thinks he's coming up with something big with John German. John German, he's an idiot, and I can prove that, because the thing is, he got 2 storage lockers wrong, because his storage locker finished with 205. The other one was a complete different number. So yeah, you fucked up on that one. And the fact that you actually, got your money back, well, not all of it, but you got most 90% of your money back. Yeah, your own fault. Next time, pay more attention to what you do, and stop blaming other people for your fuck ups. And then you got Biscuit Boy. That guy's a fucking weirdo. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say it. You are a weird individual. You don't deserve to be walking around unattended. There should be someone with you, because with your behavior, you're gonna upset someone, and they're going to shove that camera down your throat and we'll see your intestines. But, like I said, that type of behavior is uncalled for, but you push people, you antagonize people, just like Guapo, aka Andrew. And by the way, Andrew, that picture of you bragging that you're in hospital? That you doxed yourself, Mr. Alvarez? Or is it Alvarez or Alvarez? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Do you know that you doxed yourself? How stupid can you get? Mr. Dramatic. Oh, look at me. Dramatic entrance on your own videos. You're walking back and forth, acting like, I didn't realize that your living room or whatever you want to call that is a stage. But you carry on. Macbeth is a good thing too, or Shakespeare is actually quite good. You probably might be good at that. To be or not to be? What is the question? Oh, Rapunzel, for let the hair down so I can come up there and... Anyway, yeah. This case is going to also be a groundbreaking case as well, because Jeremy has every right to put a civil lawsuit in against the state of Florida, specifically Levy County, right, for failure to fulfill their duty, to failure for duty of care, for not following the law and upholding the law of the state law and local law, and could also deal with individuals, for example, like the victim's advocate whose son attacked Jeremy, the sheriff's department, the CPS, and obviously the judges. But luckily there are other judges like Judge Davis who are quite good at what they do. But he can, and he should, and I think he should. And what he should do is also find an independent civil rights lawyer, right, to then put a secondary lawsuit in against the Grudge for civil rights violations, taking away his First and Second Amendment, and then keeping that injunction on for nearly a year, considering it was temporary. And I believe the maximum was 15 days, which is temporary, but he kept it on. Why? It didn't make any difference. So, that's something to think of. But anyway, guys, you know what's going to happen now? Unless you've got anything to add to this, what I've been discussing, we're going to move on to the most important thing. Wait, the dog fart candle? Wait, what? My cat farted right next to my machine and sucked it up. Oh. No, that's funny. I've heard that these fucking oxygen machines, like if you fart or you put something next to them that smells, it does go in and it does suck it in, and then next thing you know, it's I got funny you brought that up. I read, what was it, yesterday? A guy, he was in a hospital and they fill up their own oxygen bottles and everything else. And something happened, and I don't know, someone was eating fish and chips and they had vinegar or something like that. And basically this oxygen system, obviously, it sucks air in, and anyway. And apparently everyone was smelling fish and chips when they were on oxygen. And everyone was like, yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'll do some research. It was in a hospital down south. I think it was, God, that place is about 5, 6, no, it's even 6, probably longer hours from where I am. No, it's a bit longer than that. Yeah. And basically, apparently, people on this ward were smelling fish and chips. That's just fucking awesome. Can you imagine being on a 5 minute lead, was it being on fucking 5 minutes, 5 liters a minute? Is it 5? Yeah, it's different settings. Yeah, it's 5 liters a minute. Yeah, there you go. They turn it up to, usually it goes all the way up to 7 to 12, but usually they always put people on 5. Like the oxygen is nice and slow, and it's like the same speed as you're breathing. But can you imagine being on an oxygen mask? Chips, vinegar, cod, fish and chips, mushy peas, chevron, sausage, fried sausage. Yes. But anyway, right. Okay, so let's, right, I hope everyone's ready for this. So let's all, yeah, I bet you sure you're a fucking cat fine. Right. Anyway, so let's go into the fun part, shall we? Bum, ba-bum, bum. Bum, ba-bum, bum, bum. Welcome to the Q&A time. And as you know, when you put Q&A in, it is at Spawn Trooper and then ask your question. Okay. If you don't do that, I will not answer your question because it'll be wasting too much time. So let's get cracking. And then I'll just do a summary of everything, and then basically we'll call it a night. So, got a question? Go and ask. I'll just sit here and wait. No questions so far. What's wrong with you tonight, people? What is wrong with you? Ugh. Have you ever got tobacco sport? No, it's at Spawn Trooper. You see my name highlighted? That's when you do it. So it's got a yellow backing. How is your... Oh, she is very well. It was very cold yesterday. It was very cold. And she was a little bit perturbed. So what I did, I got up very early and I started her car, warmed it up, got it ready for her to drive. You know, put the kettle on, made sure that there was hot water so she could come straight in and make a cup of tea. I hate tea. And basically, I just made sure she was okay. But she's okay. She's okay. We probably might be getting some snow soon, but she's okay. Thank you for asking, Sienna. How dangerous are fleas? How dangerous are fleas? How dangerous are fleas? Fleas are not dangerous. Fleas are not dangerous. Fleas are just the. I mean, the worst that you can get off. I mean, fleas can cause typhus and and they're very itchy, but they're not dangerous. And if you know there's fleas or lice, right, make sure like you clean the whole area out. I mean, richly clean it out, and then basically go to doctors, and anything you're wearing, right, you need to treat that as well. So, right. Okay, so next question. Next question. How's your missus? Dangerous fleas? No more cat as a learner. Still trying to learn the UK language. How can you, the UK language, we speak the English, the Queen's English, the it doesn't matter if the king, but we are speaking the actual original English. It's very easy. You just have to listen. Spawn Trooper. What's the missus' favourite flower? Well, I get a roses, red rose. I usually get a red roses. That's her favourite flower. Because if she doesn't like them, I'll never get her flowers again. I'm joking. Yeah, the fleas are an absolute waste of time, but I'm not even going to waste my time talking about them because, I did all that earlier on, and with respect, I'm not going to repeat myself. Wondering if anyone has heard from since. Oh, they're trying that one. Oh, you said, yeah, sure, right. Yeah. Whatever the Nana Cat, whatever the fleas say, just take it with a pinch of salt. They talk full of shit. Do you know, actual fact, I'm surprised they're not being sued right now. I'm surprised they're not going through a severe lawsuit, because the amount of shit they're talking, their arses, it's only a matter of time before their backside starts suing them. With the amount of crap they talk. Anyway, next question. I'm trying to find questions. When have I heard of? I have a problem arising around the kitten tried getting milk from the girl Frenchie and one of her. Oh my God, Lisa. Typhus is it's similar to the plague. I think it is. Not sure. I mean, it's a bacteria. I know that, and it can be, and it's very easily spread to humans. By fleas, lice, and ticks and stuff like that. I mean, there's different various types of that type of disease. You'd have to look. You got shrub and marine. So I can remember them from school. But anyway, what was it? Wait, someone else? It doesn't. Where they never quit. Ah, there you go. Do I have a favorite book? No, I don't. I stopped reading books. Hardly. Well, I do like historical books. I mean, once in a blue moon, I will go to a library and sit somewhere and just pick out a historical book and then just start reading it for an hour or so, and then I'll put it away and then pick up another book, and then I do that every time. Like I said, anything that comes out of one more gob's mouth, I don't believe a fucking word. Yeah, eraser and protect. Yeah, it's like when you guys say hide and go seek. It's not hide and go seek. You're going to see. It's hide and seek. That's the original way terminology for it. Hide and seek. You don't hide and go seek. It's hide and seek and seek. Seek. Yeah, American terminology. The boot, the bonnet, the sidewalk pat. Oh God. Yeah. Right. Any more questions? I'm not letting you derail anything. No. Dean Kuntz is. What is the favourite flower? I'd say hide and seek. Just popped in to say Sorry, I realized. Aussie Jen, we were talking about you earlier on. Yeah, not a problem. Absolutely not a problem. Not a problem. But thank you very much for coming in. I appreciate that. In actual fact, fanny, the word fanny is actually part of the medical corps. And let me just wait a minute. Let me see if is it yeomanry? I think. Yes. Now, here's the thing. Let me give you a little bit of history about fanny, right? Which we call, like the ladies' man sausage type, but it's also something else. Fanny it's not fanny with two N's. It's FANY, and it stands for first aid, the first aid nursing yeomanry. Right, which was created or established in 1906, 1907. And basically, they dealt with obviously the casualties on the front line, in hospitals and stuff like that. And they were always people who, if you walked into in the canteen, they'd be buying a bar. So they were everywhere, and that's where they came from. But they were established in 1907, 1906 or 1907, and it was based for their basic nursing, and they still exist to this day. Yes, they do. And you'd be very surprised that they are part of the armed forces, but they are an independent unit. Yes, they are. And you don't even even want to know about the rank structure and everything else. If you're a nurse, then you're probably freaking right. Any more questions? Anyway, hang on a minute. I need to go through these questions. I picked up one down, buddy. What is a frog in a burp? Maybe. Aussie Jen, yeah, you have. Don't worry, you know where we are. So I'm just all time for this occasion to go to bed. Good night, Bob. Spawn, what do you like to read? Well, like I said, historical stuff sometimes, but I also like to read poems as well, especially the old poems from the turn of the century or older. Because the thing is, in them days, the wording and the way people were it was real. It was more, more than just the way people behave these days. Um, the attitude of a person today is like, if I can get something out of that person, then, yes, I ripped them off, and they're trying to. It's really strange. I mean, I'm trying to be PC here, but there's a lot of people out there who need to grow up, who need to come out of that little cocoon or that little world they live in and come into the world of reality, because there's so much out there that people haven't seen. They haven't traveled. Like a lot of people have got bucket lists, and some of these bucket lists I've read and heard about, they're fucking ridiculous. I've heard of it. I've heard of ghost soldiers. I've heard of it. I have heard of it. One second. Yeah, about the Second World War. Yeah. I thought I heard of it. I thought I've heard of it. Yes. I have heard of it. Yeah. I've had this head chest thing since the 28th. Going to get some medicine, brush teeth, etc. Everyone have a wonderful. Nana Cat, you have a beautiful night. Look after yourself. Right. And drink lots of water. Yeah. So there's no one's got any questions besides what I read and what favorite flowers my wife likes, and so there's no questions about what my opinion is on certain things of the topics that we've discussed tonight, or about the weather in America at the moment, where people just don't want to learn about the weather, how to drive, and how to conduct yourself when you're driving. Come on already. Fucking who put that up? Finance director, Levy County Sheriff fires finance director, criminal investigations underway. Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Oh, God, if that's true, then, yeah, Levy County's fucked. No wonder it's all, yeah. Oh, my boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. I tell you, some people just need to get life. That's actually a good question. Hey, I've just seen something. Hey, Fleecer. Good name, by the way. Doesn't eight evictions make you gay professional scammers? Well, you have to prove that it was a scam. Until then, be very careful what you say. Vaughan, what do you think about the weather in the United States? Well, the thing is, the United States, you know, certain parts, right, in California, for example, right now you've got wildfires, and on the other side you've got snow, which is a foot deep. You've got people worrying about cold, and the thing is, you need to plan for this stuff. If you know it's happened before, why are you panicking? Why are you going through panic stages again? Now it's happened again. So if you learn from the past, right, next time you'll be ready. Like, making sure that, if you've got bad weather, just throw a little bit of salt on your drive and on your footpath, and make sure your vehicle's prepped. Make sure you got antifreeze in there. Make sure your windscreen wipers has got the 1-to-3 ratio instead of 1-to-4. So you got more windscreen wash than water, right? So it won't freeze. Make sure that, like, your vehicle, your battery is always on charge, and make sure that you got a trickle charger going. Make sure you got blankets and emergency gear in the back. So if you do get stuck in a blizzard, or you get breakdown somewhere it's cold, right, as long as you can use the engine, yeah, if you have a flat tire and that, you can't move on, right? And then make sure you got stuff in there to keep yourself warm, clothing and that. Always have that in the back of the car. If you've got 5 kids and 2 of you, then you put 5 kids worth of warm clothes, warm jackets and gloves and that, and yourself in one bag, and you have it in the back of the car. Have a snow shovel, right? Remember, if you're stuck somewhere, right, if you build a wall around you, okay, excuse me, if you build a large wall around you of snow, right, that's a wind block. If you got a poncho or something else, you put it over the top and you secure it, right, and you make sure that the entrance is away from the direction from the wind, where the wind's coming from, right. Trust me, it'll warm up very quickly. That I can assure you of. And make sure you've got stuff that you take for camping, so you've got somewhere to protect yourself with. Yeah. The weather, people. This is why stuff happens, accidents happen, and stuff like that happens over there. if you're on a motorway and you notice that snow is not being removed, then get off that motorway, because one thing's for sure: if it's getting more and more snow and you notice it's not being removed, get off that motorway as quick as you can and take a different route. There you go. Simple. It's 15 degrees here. 15 degrees right now. we have two degrees. It was minus 3 degrees. No, it's minus 4 degrees about 2 hours ago. So it's warming up. T-shirt weather. That's what I call it. Spawn true. It's 15 degrees here. I'm in hibernation. Poor Mark has to be out dealing with the. Oh, bless him. Just tell him to be careful. Make sure he drinks hot chocolate instead of coffee, and he'll be warm. That's why I always say persons, men and women, should go into the military at 18 because teachers. Here's the thing. You can take a battery and a chewing gum wrapping paper as like a foil, right? And you connect both ends, right? It'll start burning. That starts a fire. You can start yourself a little campfire. I mean, I have a grab bag in my car all the time. And I've got rations in there for 24 hours. Well, 48 hours, actually. I've got a coffee burner, everything. Because at the end of the day, you can grab so much snow and just melt it. And there you go. You got water for a drink. You don't need milk. Right? You can take coffee and sugar. You can get sugar in sugar lumps or in powder. Right? You don't have to get the proper sugar. You can get thinner sugar for cakes and stuff like that. Because it's sweeter, and you use 1 tablespoon instead of if you've got 2 tablespoons. Celsius. 2 Celsius. When I first went, oh God, actual fact, I'll tell you a little story, Mitch. When I first, I think it was the year before I joined up, we had a very heavy winter. Actual fact, it was around the same time I joined, actually. And was it? Yeah, it was because we had to, we had one winter where it was that freaking cold. At one point, I actually stopped smoking. Because my old, I already got told years before that like caffeine and nicotine thin your blood, so that's why you feel cold. So if you don't smoke or drink coffee for 24 hours, you'll notice an immediate change in your temperature. So during training, people were freezing. Like I was always cold, and I thought, you know what, I'm not gonna smoke today. And I ended up not smoking for 3.5 weeks, and my fitness just went like that. And I noticed a change in it as well. But by God, it made it warmer. And then we had to shovel snow and everything else. And then a couple of years afterwards, I'm not going to say where, but we were away. We were on exercise in a certain country where the snow was up to fucking our waist. And we were doing a cold weather training. And it meant with skis and your Bergen. And you have to fall into this pool, which they've cut out of the ice. I'll come on to that in a minute, House Pig. You have to, and what they've done, they've cut out this big square in the ice. I mean, the ice is like 1.5 feet. You can walk right up to the edge of it and it wouldn't break. And they tie a safety rope over you, around your waist. And you've got your skis, your ski sticks, your backpack, and you have to, basically, you just go straight in. You just ski straight into the water. And you have to put your head underneath the water. And then you come back up, and then you have to make your way to the other side and then make your way out. And it was my first time ever doing that when I was doing that course. It was a course, that's right. And I was standing there and he went, ready? And I went, no. And he went, what? And I went, no. And he went, why not? And I went, that shit's cold. And I turned around to him and said, I tell you right now, if that water's that cold, you're going to see me levitating out of that water so quick. And he was like, everyone was laughing. And so was I. And I went into that water and I went underneath the surface and I came back up. And for a split second, I could not inhale. I couldn't exhale. I couldn't do anything. All I could do was move my legs and my hands. And I was like, sort of like doggy paddling towards the other edge. And then I started breathing, then I started feeling the cold, then I realized, and it's mind over matter. You need to allow your body to acclimatize to that shock. So I just went, I just let the air out, and then I just carried on. And then when I started breathing shallow and short, and I was fine. It's that initial shock to the body. So I got out the other end, right? I took my Bergen off, threw it out, and then jumped up, got the bottoms of the skis into the ice, and then just started pulling myself out. And then basically fucking kicked the skis off, kicked everything off, stripped off everything, ran out into the snow, threw myself in the snow, rolled around in the snow, and then got back up, grabbed all my gear, and then I ran to the warm room, which is not warm. It's still fucking outside, but what it is, it slowly warms you back up. Because the thing is, if you get cold or if you get hit with hypothermia, right? There's a difference, hyperthermia and hypothermia. One is cold, one is heat. Right? If you get hit with hypothermia, it's the first signs of your body, losing control of because of the cold. So your body will go into self protection mode. Right? And sometimes, if you're really unlucky, it'll make you very tired, and then you fall asleep. And then once you fall asleep, that's it. You're fucked. Right? So, and because of ice nip and ice frostbite and frost nip, you've got frost nip, which is basically the first layers of your skin have basically frozen, and then the next stage from that is frostbite, and that's when your skin cells then die off, and that's why you see when people with frostbite with dark red to blackish fingertips and stuff, and many people who've gone to the South Pole, the North Pole, or whatever, some of them have had frostbite and they've lost limbs, toes and fingers and that. So what you need to do, you will have to warm up naturally. So if you're in an environment where it's cold, you have to warm up naturally. So you get out of all the wet gear, get on warm gear, but you do it slowly. You get into it slowly. You dry yourself off. If you have to get butt naked in front of people, then do that, because you need to remove every single piece of clothing away from your body, dry yourself off, and then start putting on clothing, right? And you start with your feet, your head, and your hands first, and then you put the rest, because you lose most of your heat through your groin, under your armpits, your hands, your feet, and your top of your head. Okay? So you need to always make sure that they're covered, because that helps your body. Never, ever put anything hot or cold on the back of your neck. That is your natural thermostat. That's your body thermostat. It'll give wrong readings. Never do anything like that. Never put anything hot anywhere. It needs to be natural warmth, and you need to warm up naturally. And that will stop you from getting damage to your fingers and shit like that. I've actually just remembered what course I was on and where it was. Yeah, that's what it'll do. Your body, usually your body goes numb. That's why a lot of people don't survive in like the Baltic Sea or the Atlantic or stuff like that. Is because the shock to your system. You can survive if you do it properly. You can survive. You just need to be able to control your fear, your body, your breathing. You just need to calm yourself down, because it's a shock to your system. So it's like a fight and flight mode. You just need to calm yourself down. This is why people say that, like, sometimes your mind is mind over matter. You don't mind, and it doesn't matter. Yeah. Trust me, I've done a few exercises where it's been really cold. Where the feet are freezing, to the point where you can't feel them. Your hands are freezing to the point you can't feel them. And there was one situation where we were on exercise, and I was bashed up with two other guys. And one of them, he was stagging on, but it's been raining and he was absolutely drenched. And fucking, he was in the middle of us. The other guy was, tapping me on the shoulder. I went, yeah, I know, I can tell. And this guy, we could hear him. His teeth were going, and he was richly shaking that much that he made the whole area richly vibrate. So what we did, we woke him up. And he woke up and he was like, oh my God. And we richly stripped him off, bollock naked, got his clothes, got his dry clothes out of his backpack, out of his Bergen. Right, we got his dry clothes, and what we did, we put his wet clothes, we put them in the bashes, but we put them sort of like around so they were dry from body heat from us. And basically we fucking spooned all night. We just basically got together and we richly physically laid on top of him, and we kept him warm all night. And then at one point during the night, someone came up, and it was got one of the medics to come over and check him, and they basically they RTU'd him back to camp because he was on the breach, and we got fucking pat on the back for doing what we did. But it was a natural thing for us to do because that's what we got trained to do, to look after each other. And it's very easy. The continuous shaking, the delusional sometimes, like not knowing where you are, and these are the first signs of hypothermia. You need to watch people. Yeah, but we fucking, yeah. I don't care, male or female. You put that body heat, and if need be, you all strip off, and it's literally skin to skin. But a lot of people these days go, oh, you can't do that. No, fuck that. If you want to save that person's life, or you want to give them a chance of living, you fucking strip off and you put that body heat. It doesn't matter if you've got a man sausage or not. It doesn't matter. That body heat will save that individual, because you're not thinking of anything else except getting that person warm. That I can assure you of. And anyone who served in the military know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's I've seen situations where, dogs have walked onto a pond, fallen through the ice, and the owner's gone out there and they fall through the ice, and people running in, it's freezing water, dragging them out. And, it's the adrenaline is pumping. And trust me, when the adrenaline is pumping, you don't feel the cold as much as you do when there's no adrenaline. So, but here's also another fact that you need to remember. People have gone to save other people, and they've hit that water and it's been ice cold. They've hit that water, gone into shock, and then drowned. So be very careful how you become a hero. Just saying. All right, any questions? Are there any questions? Okay, right. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. There's no more further questions, so we're going to go bing, 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 bing. Like that. There you go. So what I want to do is this. I want to thank everybody for being here and coming. Thank everybody for being who you are and being supportive. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. And remember one thing. Treat people the way you want to be treated. But when it comes to this court case, the only thing that we need to pay attention to is the actual court case when it happens. Right now, everyone is jumping on this bandwagon. But the thing is, here's a message to the fleas and to Deuce and to all those idiots in that little vagabond group. Grow the fuck up. Show proof. Be transparent. Stop fucking dragging your feet and be professional. And maybe, just maybe, you'll get some sort of credibility at some point in your life, but it won't happen now or within a near foreseeable future. So, yeah. Ground would hold? What? Did you see the other night Lee's talked about money? They said some went to concrete, but yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Okay. Right. So let's say, for example, they bought 20 bags, right, for 20 posts. I mean, if you count all the posts on that fence, okay, and then each post is one bag of cement, because that's how much cement they use per bag, per post, right? And then you go and look at the concrete they use, which is Quickcrete, right? You're looking between $8 and $20, and you get like, so that's $160, say $300 for the concrete. That's it. They should have been using 2 to 4 bags per post, give or take 1 or 2, right? But that's how much post, and plus they should have been using hardcore base, so that's little stones, yeah. But they didn't. Those posts are probably like a foot and a bit in the ground, right? Because they were 10-foot posts. Those panels are 6 foot high. So if you have a look at that fence, you got 5 inches at the bottom, probably 2 or 3 inches at the top. Yeah, so that's, yeah. So they've got just over a foot in the ground. Now the next storm that comes through the Otter Creek, I want to see pictures after that storm of that fence, and then we can talk about it. They did not spend that much money on concrete. That I can assure you of. And that's why they didn't use traders, or they didn't ask the company, right, to put it up, because it would have cost them a fucking bomb on concrete alone. They would have had probably a pallet and a half of concrete, or probably 2 pallets of concrete. And if I can remember correctly, I think it's 40 or 50 bags on each pallet, because a pallet is a ton. So if you ever want to know how much a pallet weighs, one pallet is usually 1 ton in weight. That's why when you see vehicles and they've got 8 pallets on the back, that means they can carry 8 tons legally. Anything more, they can't. Just so you know. So if there's no more questions, guys, I am going to call it night. I would like to thank everybody for coming. And thanks very much for all the guys and everyone who's given me a thumbs up. Appreciate that. I also appreciate everybody who comes and pays, comes and visits. And remember one thing. You don't have to hide from anybody. You say it as it is. But make sure you got the transparency. Make sure you got the proof, because I'm looking forward to the court case. So I'm going to sit in the sidelines and I'm going to watch. And I'm Night Wolf, man. Night Mitch. I'm going to sit in the sidelines. I'm going to do my lives with my pretty and other people. We will be getting special guests on in the future, that I can assure you of. And you're going to be very surprised. Very, very surprised. Yes. And I think he'll like it as well. Now, again, thank you very much for all your support and everything. And, yep, you know the drill. Here it comes. Right, guys, you've got 2 minutes to collect all your property and all your belongings, getting dressed, get ready, make sure you dress up warm, it's cold out there, all right, and make your way to the exits, because in 2 minutes we're closing the theatre. Thank you, everybody, and thanks very much for coming. I love you too.